This is Arizona Cat's Eye News.
In a recent statement, Governor Hobbs slams the University of Arizona's administration for their handling of the ongoing financial crisis.
University of Arizona students afraid of going out after a string of sexual assault attacks reported near campus.
And we'll take you through the history of the barrios in Tucson through augmented reality. Good morning all and welcome to Cat's Eye News. I'm Ellie Dybert.
And I'm Mario Sosa. We're starting the newscast by taking a look at the latest of Arizona's financial crisis.
Governor Hobbs is taking a hands-on approach to the ongoing financial crisis at the U of A. This week, she sent a letter to the Arizona Board of Regents with expectations of immediate actions. Governor Hobbs sent a letter on Monday to the Arizona Board of Regents condemning their leadership in the handling of the financial crisis at the University of Arizona. She says, quote, "This is no longer just about finances. This is about a lack of accountability, transparency, and at the end of the day, leadership," end quote.
Governor Hobbs also wrote that she wants Executive Director John Arnold to exit the role of acting chief at the U of A. She is calling for a third party to conduct an internal audit and report back to the governor and A board. Governor Hobbs is reportedly expected to meet with the U of A's leadership this coming Wednesday.
A few weeks ago, UAPD reported a rape near Adams Street and Fremont Avenue, just a few blocks from the U of A campus, after a string of sexual assault cases. UAPD is emphasizing the use of safety resources for students and faculty members.
In case of an emergency, students can find some help with the blue lights located around the campus. Pushing the red button will connect people to the police department immediately.
UAPD reminds everyone to walk within well-lit areas, preferably with someone else. In case you need a ride, UAPD also provides a walking or driving escort. More safety tips can be found on the UAPD website. A UA nonprofit organization called Team Awareness Combating Overdose, known as TACO, is educating students about drug overdose. I spoke to the organization members to learn more about their non-traditional approach. Here's what I found. This nonprofit organization has distributed over 1,500 fentanyl testing strips to students of the UA. Whether it's on wheels or on foot, handing out free fentanyl strips throughout campus.
I want students to know that nobody is above or below fentanyl.
TACO President Madison Trotter encourages students to take advantage of their harm reduction tools and hopes that using them will make a difference in students' decisions.
If you were in a room with a bunch of people, you're likely to know somebody that's been impacted by fentanyl.
According to recently released UCLA research, 29 teenagers ranging from ages 14 to 18 have died due to fentanyl overdoses in Pima County.
One of the major statistics is that with the overdose deaths right now, it's basically equivalent to like a regular passenger plane crashing almost every day with like a full flight on it. And I think when you have numbers like that, you should really like think about it.
TACO Vice President Savannah Crowley emphasizes that this data presents an issue.
Especially in Arizona, the numbers right now for deaths due to fentanyl and overdose in general are just, it's a really severe problem in our area.
TACO is involved with 8 other universities in the U.S. with the same mission to combat overdose. You can find more information through TACO's Instagram at taco.uofa or their website at tacoinc.org.
Now, if midterm assignments took a toll on you, we have some relieving news. Campus Health, with the assistance from Stress Busters, is offering free massages. Stress Busters is a national training outreach program that teaches students, volunteers how to be background providers as well as resource advisors. On Mondays, massages are available at the Rec Center from 6 to 7 p.m. and on Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. For more information about Stress Busters program, visit health.arizona.edu/stressbusters or download the Stress Busters and Health and Wellness app. The Tucson Convention Center is the biggest center event of the city, but the land where it was now located was once the home of a multicultural community. Urban redevelopment displaced the people from El Barrio Libre in 1960s.
CEN reporter Susan Barnett tells us how the TCC is honoring a community once displaced from their homes with a new augmented reality tour.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony marked the beginning of a new era at the TCC, an era of reconciliation.
60 years ago, a proud and historic barrio held Tucson's soul and heart.
Lane Santa Cruz is Ward 1's council member. They say this land has been a vibrant, multi-generational community with businesses and social organizations.
You know, it was a Mexican-American barrio, indigenous people, African Americans, and Chinese did business and lived here. And it really was kind of erased. It was not only bulldozed, but erased.
Many, like Fletch McCusker, who is a third-generation Tucsonan, think this app was necessary.
What happened here in 1965 through 1969 has been unspoken of. It's swept under the rug. It's not talked about historically. It's not taught to our children.
60 years later, anyone with a mobile phone can learn about the history of the barrios with a swipe of a finger. The tour is made with 3D augmented reality technology. Using the TCC app, all you have to do is scan at a certain location and a picture of what was once there will show up on your screen.
We know that augmented reality overlays won't do the trick to heal this community and the devastation that occurred. However, we want to start this conversation and build a bridge so that we can then introduce the stories and tell these stories and amplify the voices of the people of Tucson so that they feel comfortable, confident, and welcome on these grounds, and that it'll be a celebration of their beautiful culture and of the hands that actually built this community by hand.
Since 2014, $116 million have been invested into improvements for the TCC. They seek to be the driving force behind Tucson's tourist economy. For CEN, I'm Susan Barnett.
Welcome to CEN On Your Side, your source for stories shaping campus life and beyond. Today, we start by exploring the struggle students face in securing affordable housing and how they cope with the soaring cost of living on campus. With 44,000 students enrolled at the University of Arizona, the demand for housing is high. For convenience and to avoid using a car, many students nestle in the 9 apartment buildings located right on campus. But they come at a steep price.
I lived in Olive for a couple of months, and I shared a common space and a bathroom with 3 other girls, and I was paying over $1,500 a month, and I just could not afford it. So I actually ended up having to move home with my parents.
Gabby Giron is a sophomore at the U of A. She now faces a daily 45-minute commute and pays $750 to park her car on campus. Her struggles are shared by many. Maddie Mandock lives in Seoul and pays her $1,600 monthly rent by juggling 2 jobs as a full-time student.
I'm from out of state, so I don't have a car, and I was forced to live on campus. It's really frustrating because all of the apartments take advantage of the students and increase the rent to really high prices.
4 of the on-campus apartments are owned by Core Spaces, a company solely dedicated to building student housing. Construction is currently underway for their 5th project at the U of A. This is in addition to their 61 apartment complexes located across the nation, all located on college campuses and each priced at a minimum of $1,100 per month.
I work at Olive, which is owned by Core Spaces, and because I work here, I do have an employee discount, and I definitely would not be able to afford it if I didn't have an employee discount.
Yadav also said residents frequently express concerns about the high rent. I contacted Core Spaces multiple times for comment, but never received a response. They have yet to release a completion date for their newest apartment at the U of A. In Tucson for Cat's Eye News, I'm Georgia Landerue. Another matter impacting the community's daily life is the poor condition of our roads. But CEN reporter Annalise Willie explores the passing of Proposition 411, is paving the way for major road improvements.
In May of 2022, Tucson voters passed Proposition 411, a 10-year half-cent sales tax extension expected to dedicate $740 million to street improvements. This is due to the fact that over 70% of the roads in Tucson have been identified as in poor condition by the city. Tucson resident Alexa Daniese says she worries about the poor quality of the roads.
So honestly, up in the foothills, all the roads are really hilly and there's lots of really deep potholes. So when you're driving around, especially during monsoon season, everything gets really, really flooded. So you can't even drive and it's really not safe.
80% of the half-cent sales tax, or $590 million, is aimed at improving the condition of every single road in Tucson. The city will be repaving roads and fixing cracks and potholes like this one.
Having these roads like renovated and whatnot will help people to be able to drive safer in the future and just make Tucson honestly better and safer as a whole.
The city will also be using the funding to fix traffic lights around the city. Amanda Valenzuela from the Tucson Department of Transportation and Mobility says the improvements will last longer than the allocated 10 years.
It will be a continuation. The roadways will always need maintenance going forward. So that is also a goal that we're looking forward to.
The project is currently in phase 1, which combats the lowest quality roads and areas with the highest transportation needs first. For more information, you can visit the Tucson Delivers website to see when your street will be improved. For CEN, this is Annalise Willie reporting.
As the city works to improve the community, so does a remarkable student, juggling university life while bettering our community, one junk pile at a time.
Just needed money. This started as a side hustle. I worked for a company in Phoenix that did junk removal, and when I came down here for school, I realized none of the companies in Tucson were doing it like the way the big companies in Phoenix were doing it.
Within just 3 years, Aguirre's company has grown to employ 5. His business is currently the biggest non-franchise junk company in Tucson. That's all we have for you today from CEN on your side. Stay tuned for how students will play a major role in shaping the 2024 election. Once again, I'm Georgia Landeryu. We'll see you next time.
University of Arizona, along with the Mexican Consulate, are working together to provide health scans, including free liver scans to students and the greater Tucson.
We need to take care of the liver because the liver is taking care of our health. So I think it's important, and I don't think a lot of people know. I personally didn't know this 7 years ago. And the beauty of this is that it's not only preventable, it is reversible up to a certain point.
Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a chronic condition associated with obesity. It's most common on people from Mexican origins. Experts say having a nutritious diet and exercising can prevent this disease. For more information on health scans, visit the U of A's public health website. Make sure to search for the Nosotros program.
Next up, a cat shelter and sanctuary has a different way of setting up rescues with potential owners and yogis.
Cat's Eye reporter Jose Vega reports on the way this sanctuary is making a difference within the Tucson community.
Shelters like the Hermitage Cat Shelter allow cats free roam throughout the day, which allows for interactions that are not typical of most shelters. Cat yoga instructor Darlene Schaefer spoke on how valuable these interactions are for cat adoptability.
It can help them to see their personality. The one cat just came and laid on my chest, and just having that connection, maybe it'll lead to an adoption, or at least to support their mission and funding.
A mission that has proven to be very important to the lives of our feline friends. To Diane Siefkes, getting funds and awareness from events like Yoga with Cats is of the utmost importance in a time of dire need.
There's never enough room. We get calls every day from people who are looking to surrender their cats for a variety of reasons. Sometimes they don't have enough money to feed themselves and pay their rent and feed their cat.
Every day that passes, the bills at the shelter get heftier and heftier.
Food prices have gone up, litter prices have gone up. Medicine has gone up. We have our own medical staff here, so we take care of our 200 cats on site and the approximate 35 cats that we have in foster as well.
Events like this can raise opportunity for donations that are more important than ever. With help from the public, the shelter will be able to repeat their total of 716 adoptions like the year of 2023. For CEN, I'm Jose Vega reporting.
The UA Derby Cats is the first collegiate flat track roller derby team in the nation. But in order to practice, they face financial and institutional barriers, causing them to forfeit their upcoming game against ASU's Derby Devils due to a lack of players.
For the Cats, recruiting has been challenging. They say they must practice within a 10-minute drive from campus and pay a semester fee of $1,000. The Cats claim to have asked the rec center, but they have been denied.
We practice here because this is the only place that's like near campus where it is safe for us to practice. But most of us are out of state, or we don't have cars, or we don't drive.
We reached out to the UA Rec. A spokesperson said in part that the Cats are not allowed to practice on basketball courts at the UA because the wheels could damage the hardwood. Meanwhile, ASU's Derby Devils say they practice on the basketball court of their school's fitness center. If you are a foodie, you are in the right city. And that's because America's best Mexican food is officially in Tucson. Yup. The Old Pueblo was the first city in the United States designated as a capital of gastronomy by UNESCO in 2015.
Bueno, we can also brag about our celebrity chefs. Don Page made it to the popular taco joint on 4th Avenue and spoke to a pretty famous chef you may recognize from reality TV show. Hey Don!
If you know me, you know I have a thing for carne asada tacos. Today, not only did I please my taste buds, I had the opportunity to meet Maria Mazon, executive chef and owner of Boca Tacos y Tequila. Enjoy.
Mazon discovered her passion for cooking as a waitress at Papagayos, one of Tucson's oldest Mexican restaurants. She fell in love with the chaos in the kitchen and later made a name for herself.
Boca was born 14 years ago. I was still married to a boy. And then we started toying with the idea of open a fancy taqueria, if you will, that you can enjoy a drink, you know, a glass of wine.
Chef Maria has received many accolades and says staying hungry and humble is key as she continues to expand her brand.
Being Mexican, I think, is a superpower because we have that extra je ne sais quoi, the flair, the chile. It's in our veins, you know, the chiltepinas, sonorenses. It's very unapologetic being Mexican.
Maria's success and popularity continue to attract tourists and food lovers like Michelle Teagues and Janelle Medema from Seattle.
And we are huge Top Chef fans, and so we knew that we wanted to come see Chef Maria's restaurant, and so this was the first reservation we made.
And for all those aspiring chefs and entrepreneurs, Chef Maria shares a piece of advice.
Just believe in yourself, man. If you do, and if you fall, get up, dust yourself up and do it. If you really do believe in your formula.
As Mazon continues to spice things up, projects in the works include a TV show, her debut as a book author, and soon a sizzling line of salsas. For CEN, I am Dawn Page.
Oof, I don't know about you, but now I want to try Chef Mazon's tacos.
Yeah, we should probably go right after this newscast to celebrate spring break.
That's a great idea. Well, that's all we have for today. See you back in May.
Have a great spring break. We'll see you next time.
This is Arizona Cat's Eye News.